Welcome to the Speedworld Bruck kart circuit in Austria, where Hungary's Ferenc Kancsar has qualified on pole for the final round of the Central and Eastern European Rotax Max Challenge. He beat this man, Japan's Ukyo Sasahara, in the pre-final, but Sasahara comes into this race as the clear championship leader. Here's Austria's Marc Ferenc, third on the grid and third in the standings, and alongside him, completing the second row of the grid, will be Max Weinzierl. Here we go then, the third and final round of the championship now underway as they hurtle into the first corner. Kancsar leads from pole, Ferenc slots into second, then it's Sandor, followed by Christoph Starzek in kart 126. He made a great start from 7th to 4th. Not a good start though for Sasahara, he's dropped back to 5th. Ferenc and Sandor nose to tail as they ran through shots, and now they're side by side on the exit to the turn, locked together, a big twitch. They almost go off the road, and finally it's the 193 kart of Sandor that comes out on top. Meanwhile, there's Sasahara jinking right, trying to find his way back through the traffic. Well, that was absolutely breathtaking stuff from Ferenc and Sandor. They ran through several corners, absolutely locked together, neither giving an inch. End of lap 1, Ferenc Kancsar leads from Jakob Sandor, Marc Ferenc and Christoph Starzek. And then 115, Sasahara draws alongside Mika Postikal and gets the position. So that puts him back up to 5th place. And that's 116, Istvan Sipos dropping back as 103 Fodor Arpad picks him off exiting turn 1. All the way through the pack you can see drivers overtaking or trying to overtake one another. Here's a case in point. Sasahara in the 115 kart charges inside Christoph Starzek to snatch 4th place. Remember, he started on the front row and dropped to 6th place off the line, but already the fight back has begun. A little further back, there's Max Weinzierl passing Nicky Lahr for 7th place. Leaders onto the start of lap 3, and they're still locked into this battle for second. Ferenc sees a chance, squeezes up the inside and gets the place back. A little tap on the shoulder from Jakob Sandor on the exit, and then Ferenc takes his hand off the wheel and gesticulates. He's pointing forward, so he's signalling to Sandor that the leader is getting away, and they need to work together now, stop overtaking each other for the time being at least, and try to close the gap. Here's the battle for 5th. Oh! Starzek gets airborne as he smacks the high curb. Bearing in mind there's no suspension on these karts and his rear end is sat approximately 2 centimetres above the ground. You probably felt that. On to lap 5, and we've now got a 3-way scrap for second, with Ukyo Sasahara having caught Marc Ferenc and Jakob Sandor. Ferenc is second, then it's Sandor third, with Sasahara right behind them in 4th. I think that's given Sandor in the 193 kart the hurry-up call. He goes wheel to wheel with Ferenc. Again, it takes a couple of corners and he has to grit it out, but he's through. Sasahara's been watching all of this from close quarters, and now the Japanese driver pounces, throwing his kart down the inside of Ferenc, and that was great anticipation from Sasahara to take advantage of the fact that the Austrian had been delayed as Sandor overtook him just a few seconds earlier. So Kancsar leads, but we've now got Sandor up to 2nd, Sasahara recovering back up to 3rd, and now a change for 5th as Nicky Lahr guides his kart past Max Weinzierl. But the Austrian is having none of it, he keeps his foot in and gets the place back at the very next corner. So now we've got the top 2 in the championship running together on track in 2nd and 3rd places. Sasahara has the advantage in terms of points, but as the leading European driver in the series, Sandor is set to take the challenge. 14th place would give Sasahara enough points to finish on top of the table, but he's not playing the points game, determined to get through. He's made his move and now he's up to 2nd place. And if it stays like this, Sasahara will finish on the top of the points table, but is he going to settle for 2nd in this race, or is he going to try and push to catch the race leader? Based on his body language and the way he single-mindedly recovered that difficult start to the race, I'd say he's probably going to go for it. Here's the battle for 6th place. 103 Fodor Arpad has got a bit of a queue forming up behind him now, with 127 Max Weinzierl, 104 Nicky Lahr, and then 125 Just van den Drischer, all looking to get past. And now Weinzierl closes the gap and carries the momentum into the next corner and sweeps past. Lahr is trying to follow him through, and he's done it. Lahr demotes Arpad another place and they head towards the hairpin. One of the slowest corners on the lap, it's hard on the brakes, and 103 Arpad grabs 7th place back. In fact, van den Drischer is also now moving ahead of Nicky Lahr. Here they come, carrying tremendous speed out of that last corner, over the start line, and 104 driven by Nicky Lahr now moves back ahead of Just van den Drischer in kart 125. Next in line is kart 105 driven by Machnaki Barlamij. And a little further up the road, we've got this squabble for 3rd place, with Marc Ferenc making his move on Jakob Sandor. These two have been running together all the way through this race, and there's extra tension because Sandor is only 5 points behind Ferenc in the championship. On to lap 10, we're almost halfway into this, the final race of the season. and this is the battle for 6th place. And look at the 104 machine as Nicky Lahr pulls off another move. Great stuff, and then Max Weinziel got a whack on the rear bumper from Joost van den Driesche as he moved back into line. Look at them weaving this way then that like a swarm of angry wasps. Here they come again, and once more Lahr is carrying an enormous amount of speed into that first corner, and he goes into 6th place. Well, that must be the 3rd or 4th time in this race that Nicky Lahr has pulled off a move like that into turn 1. Arpad jinks out from behind, and he hits Lahr, who's sent wide with the force, and Lahr loses 2 places as a result. Max Weinziel gifted a place in the 127 kart to move ahead of a no doubt frustrated Nicky Lahr. All of that triggered when Fodor Arpad tried to repass Lahr, and then I think lost it under braking and just ran into the side of Lahr. But this time Lahr having to defend from Machnaki in the 105 kart. They may not be fighting for a place on the podium, but this is turning into a terrific race. And look, more overtaking as 104 Nicky Lahr thunders back ahead of Weinziel, and Machnaki takes his chance to get past as well. Lahr is constantly looking over his shoulder at this part of the circuit, fearful he might come under siege into the left-hander. Lahr seems to be at the heart of all the action today. We're heading into the closing stages now. It looks as though Ferenc Cançar is going to win this one. He's still a long way clear of Ukyo Sasahara, but who's going to join them on the podium? 141 Mikhail Pospical is 5th, and then we've got this brilliant battle for 6th place with 103 Fodor Arpad being hunted down by 104 Nicky Lahr, the latter recovering after the former ran into him a couple of laps ago. This could be interesting. Nothing's going to stop Nicky Lahr from having a go at getting the place back, and he's done it. And to be fair, he did it without making contact. I did wonder if he might become a bit feisty, a bit vengeful, but to his credit, that was a good clean move. The 3rd and 4th place karts cross the line to start the final lap of the race. The top 2, Ferenc Cançar and Ukyo Sasahara, already well on their way to the checkered flag. Just to remind you, Sasahara came into this at the top of the points table, but as a Japanese driver, he will not qualify to win the Central and Eastern European title. Jakob Sandor is still totally glued to the rear bumper of Marc Ferenc, trying everything on this lap to pull off one last move. He goes for it, he gets ahead, and that's going to put him back on the podium. Meanwhile, Ferenc Cançar wins the final race of the season, and there in 2nd place is Ukyo Sasahara. But what about 3rd? It's going to be Jakob Sandor, so a late change for position. And further back, they're still at it, action all the way. This time it's 125 Van den Driesche with a big effort to get his place back. He's done it, at least I think he has. Van den Driesche trying to fight back to the bitter end, almost home and dry. They accelerate out of the final turn and take the checkered flag, separated by just a few hundredths of a second. Well, what a way to end the season, although the big fights didn't really involve our race winner, Ferenc Cançar, who receives his trophy with Ukyo Sasahara left of picture and Jakob Sandor to the right. Ukyo Sasahara scores most points and wins the series, but because he's not based in the European countries, it's Sandor who will be declared as the challenge winner.